And also I'm kind of looking for something that's not gonna be too summer, but it's also not gonna be too spring. Spring? Hello? It is almost 2019 here. There's a solicitor walking down the street. Please no, please don't do it. My window's wide open and he can see me. I don't have any pants on, dude. I have no pants on.
Mom. Dad needs a bar of soap.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be a pretty quick, simple video. It's also gonna be a little bit different than what you would typically see here on YouTube. Jumping straight in, I am gonna be using an older palette. It is the Melisa Michelle palette. I have done a review on this palette before. It was actually about a year ago that I did it, and I will be honest with you, the first time that I used it, I wasn't super impressed. After I did that review, I kind of just tossed it into the back of my makeup vanity and forgot about it. Today, whenever I was trying to think of what I wanted to do, I decided that I wanted to do something that was super simple. I wanted something that was going to be not super summer, but also not super fall. So I was kind of wanting like a happy median here because of it is mid-August and we are going to be moving into fall months soon. But again, it is still summer. So I wanted to kind of like, you know, complement the both of them. And I'm all about simple. So I'm looking for a quick, simple makeup routine because that's what I like. So I am going to go ahead and prime my eyes using the Urban Decay Primer Potion. If you guys have been a follower of me for a while, then you know that this is my jam. I do have super oily eyelids and I do tend to crease in my eyelids. So this definitely has helped to keep my eyeshadow in place and keep it from creasing and keeps it just looking really nice and smooth all day and even all night. I am gonna go ahead and set my eyes with the Too Faced Perfect Peach setting powder. Some people use their eyeshadow to set their eyelids with, but I personally just set with a setting powder. I just like it this way. This is just how I've always done it, and so this is how I will just continue to do it. So I'm just going to take this Wet n Wild P20 brush and I'm going to dip it into this shade right here. And I'm going to rub this all over my lid that I have already set, but just to give it a little bit more of an even base. I don't super love this makeup brush. That's probably why I haven't really ever talked about it on my channel. It's not amazing, but I will use it when desperate times call. I might get a lot of crazy talk for what I'm about to do. But look, I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I'm all about being real. And sometimes I think I try to be a little too proper with my makeup, and sorry, that's just not me. I'm going to dip into Tobo, I think that's the name of it, and I'm just dipping in with the Morphe R37, and I'm gonna pop that into my crease. I am not a makeup artist. I have said this before on my channel. I did not go to school to do makeup. I just enjoy feeling pretty. So I put on makeup just to, like I said, feel nice about myself and to feel confident and to be able to have fun. So if you are a serious makeup artist and you take your brushes and transitions and all of that very seriously, then I don't recommend that you watch this video because you might have a stroke. Taking that same brush that I just used, the Morphe R37, I'm going to take it over and I'm gonna dip it into Rosemary right here, which is just a little bit more of a darker brown than the first shade, but it does have a little bit more of a red undertone to it. And I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna put that right back on top of that crease that we just added. Also, I have found that with this palette, it does seem to work just a little bit better if you don't tap your brush off. With a lot of like really pigmented palettes, it is good to dust away the excess on the brush, but because of this palette doesn't seem to be super, super pigmented, although it is buildable, it's not extremely pigmented. So I have been just dipping into the palette and just taking everything on my brush and applying it to my lid, and it seems to work a little bit better this way. And I am just taking this down just a little bit down into that corner, not too intensely, because we will build that up with another color here in just a minute. Now again, this is where you people are not going to like this, but once again, using the same brush. This color right here is actually a blush color, but it's actually really, really pretty if you use it as an eyeshadow color. So I'm gonna tap my brush down in there. And again, I'm not going to dust off the excess. And I'm gonna apply that just a little tad bit lower. I really, really like this color as an eyeshadow. I'm gonna take that into the corner and just kind of drag it out lightly. I am still using the same brush, and I am gonna use the same brush for the next color as well. And the reason why I'm doing it like this is because I'm not looking for serious definition in my shades. I'm not looking for any specific color to specifically sit out or stand out. What's wrong with my brain today? But I am basically looking more for just a very blended, deeper eyeshadow look. I don't want it to be super crisp, and I'm just looking for some warm shades so that, like I said, that way it'll have a little bit of summer to it, but a little bit of fall as well. Last shade I'm going to use is the shade Bing Bing right here, which is this darker maroonish brown color. I'm gonna use the same brush again. This one I am gonna tap off the excess just because of it is such a dark shade. And once again, I'm just gonna kind of go right here in the corner with it very, very lightly with my brush. And I'm really gonna kind of build up that outer corner. And then after it's built up to your desired liking, I'm gonna slightly just kind of drag it into the crease and over just a little bit. After you complete that step, I am gonna take a different brush. This one is the Morphe M433, and I'm gonna go back into Tobo, which is that first shade that we used. And I'm gonna dip my brush back in there, and I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna actually go on top to kind of blend out the top of that crease. And then for the last part of this eyeshadow look, I'm gonna use this shade right here, which is Cade's, and I'm gonna tap this brush in. The brush that I'm using is just one of the brushes out of the the Naked Urban Decay palette. And I'm going to tap that in to the front half of my lid. And I'm just gonna drag it over. And as you can see, it doesn't give a whole lot of pigment if you do it this way. So what I'm gonna do to make the pigment just a little bit more, or just to make it a little bit more pigmented, I'm gonna take my Smashbox primer water and I'm gonna spray the brush just to get it wet, and then dip it back down into that shade, and then pack it onto the lid. And it makes such a big difference. Once you have completed the shimmery part on the inner corner of the lid, I'm gonna use that brush that we used for multiple shades, the Morphe R37, and I'm not gonna add any product to it, but I am just going to use it to somewhat blend out the edges a little bit. It doesn't take a whole lot because I did somewhat blend it out with that brush, so I'm just going over it just to make sure that everything is nice and blended. Moving on to face, I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face with my Benefit Professional. I am going to use the LA Girl, the Pro Matte Foundation. By the way, I guess I will update you guys on the CoverGirl foundation that I did a review on in my last video. If you haven't seen that, then I will go ahead and link a card here for you to click on it and watch it. But I did a review on this CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made Foundation. So if you haven't seen that, I definitely recommend that you go check that out because it is one of the weirdest reviews that you will ever see in your life. I did check out some of the other colors and some of the other bottles because I was going to exchange it for a different bottle, hoping that maybe it would solve the problem, but it didn't. They are all weird like that. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's literally just that batch or what is going on. I have no idea, but I really wish that they would solve it because I really like that foundation. But I'm gonna use the LA Girl, the Pro Powder, and the reason why I'm gonna use, there's not very much left, but the reason why I'm going to use this one is because of it's more of a banana shade, and with my face being as white as it is right now, I don't want to put any translucent powder on there because of it will lighten it up just a little bit more, and I'm not trying to look ghostly right now. Going in with my Sonia Kashuk brush and the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And this one is in the darker shade. I haven't mentioned that in a while. It doesn't actually have a name or numbers or anything like that on the back or anywhere on the packaging. But this is the darker bronzer shade because they have a light and they have a dark. And I don't think there's any other shades in between. But this one is the darker one. And obviously, as you can see, I love this stuff because I have hit pan on it. I've been wanting to try out other bronzers, but then I'm like, this one is just so good and it never lets me down, and I love it and I love the smell of it. It's just so summery and beachy. I just love it. And when I'm in a pinch, for literally in a pinch, for time, I will pinch this brush together and just kind of thin it out like that. And I will use that to bronze up the sides of my nose. Because I'm literally like crunched for time right now. Story of my life. I'm such a procrastinator. I think that I have my shit together and I don't. I never do, ever. I am gonna go ahead and match the blush that I used on my eyes, and I am gonna go ahead and use that on my cheeks as well, just because I think that this is a really, really pretty color. By the way, I moved my mirror over here because the way that my camera is set up here, and when I put my mirror there, it always gets in the way. So I don't know, you guys will have to tell me, like, is it weird when I look this way, or do you like it better whenever I look straight on? Let me know down below in the comments what you... I am just gonna use my Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil just to lightly go over my eyebrows. My eyebrows are microbladed, so I do have some color, but as you can see, especially with the bright lights on, it does kind of wash out that color. And then also from putting the makeup on and my foundation and the powders and stuff settling over my eyebrows, it does kind of fade it out a little bit. So I like to go back in and just kind of touch it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be super perfect because, again, I do still have quite a bit of color in there, but I just like to kind of darken it back up a little bit. Which it seems like no matter what, because my eyebrows are so thin, especially whenever I get in front of bright lighting, it always washes my eyebrows out. But in person, if I do a darker eyebrow pencil, then it just looks super funny and super clownish. And so this is just what you get. I'm not gonna be wearing falsies today because, again, I do want this just to be a very simple makeup look that really anybody can do. I like to use a pencil brush to do my highlight under my brow and then in my inner corners. Using the same palette, I am gonna use the highlighter in here. It is more of a subtle highlight. I think that it is super nice though to go with lighter makeup looks, or if you're looking for something that is just a little bit more subtle. So this would definitely be a great work day highlighter because of, again, it isn't super blinding and it's just gonna completely steal the show, but it also gives you just a little bit of shimmer and shine, and I just think that it looks really nice. And then apply it. And it is buildable, so I do like to build it up. Again, even with it being buildable, it isn't just super built, like it's not super bright, but it is definitely buildable that you can get just a little bit more of a glow out of it. So I have put on my mascara. So for the last thing for this makeup look, I am just gonna go ahead and apply some lipstick. And I am going to use, this one is actually a ColourPop liquid lip. I do know that it is in the shade Times Square. And then I am just gonna use one of the ColourPop liquid. The ColourPop, oh my gosh. I am just going to use the ColourPop lip pencil, and this one is in the shade BFF. I did feel like it was a little bit dark, so I did go ahead and lighten it up just a little bit with this Flower Beauty Miracle Matte Lip. And I've worn this a couple times. It's a really pretty color, and it's actually quite comfortable. And the shade in this is Nude Blush. Now, if you wanted to, you could, is using this Korres lip butter, and this one is in the shade Jasmine. If you've never used this stuff, it is so good. But it looks like it has color when it's in the jar, but once you actually apply it to your lip, it does not. It's pretty nasty because the way that I like to apply it is just getting, I just stick the tip of my finger in it like this, and then I just apply it onto my lips because my nails are so long. But if you wanted to, I got a little much, but you could apply some on top of your lipstick, which will kind of lighten it up just a little bit more, make it a little bit more on the nude side, and it will also give it just a little bit of shine. And I actually think that this looks really pretty with this eyeshadow look. Now, if you wanted to take it and bring it just a little bit more to the fall side, you could pair it with some darker lipstick shades. So you could definitely pair it with this, which would be really dark, and it would definitely bring it more on the fall side. And this one is a ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip, and this one is in the shade Rouge. I think it's Rouge, yeah. And this one is more of a deep red, more on the brown side. Or you could use this Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Veronica, and this one is also a liquid lip, and it's gonna be a little bit more on the nude side, but it's gonna be on the darker side of the nude with more of like brown, purple undertones. And I actually have worn this color with this eyeshadow look before, and it's definitely very pretty. Hi, baby. So this is my completed makeup look for today that, again, is gonna keep me more on the summer side of things. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you also enjoyed the little tips and tricks to bringing it more onto the fall side. So if you did enjoy this video, then please make sure that you give me a big thumbs up, and if you are not already subscribed to my channel, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. But I think that that is all that I have for you guys today. So I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.